have hatred in your heart. So
Yeah.
you spreading hatred and false lies, like that's not cool.
Like the president.
Man.
Going back to, you know, the Netflix show, Varsity, you know, like how you said, like you can't, me personally, I just can't help but to think that it was a race thing. Like, I believe it is. I'm not gonna say I think it is. I'm gonna say I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I feel. You know, she told the cops, you know, you go out there and you find every single little thug that you see.
Calling them animals. And
when she said, you know, go out there and find every little thug, they didn't go after no white kids. They didn't go after. They went after all the black kids, and they had all the boys. It was four black kids and a he's Puerto Rican, right?
He was like, yeah, something.
And a Puerto Rican. He wasn't
Hispanic.
white.
He was
Hispanic. And it's just
Latin. Yeah.
And the reason why I said it was 4, because initially it was 4 boys, and it became 5 because she couldn't. She brought all her evidence and all that stuff to the DA, and she couldn't connect it. She couldn't connect it. She was saying there was something she's
There's
missing.
too many holes.
Exactly.
In the story.
They needed the glue. This is what she was saying. And that one kid, Corey, who was in the police station waiting for his friend, she said he was the glue, and that's how they ended up getting him. And it just
he was just there because he went to support his friend.
Just being a good homie.
Good homie. And he got caught up, and then he got treated the worst.
And you know what's crazy?
How did sorry to cut you off, but how did she use Corey as the glue in the case? Like, what evidence did she pin on him?
She didn't have any. They got him. Yeah. They got him to say that he raped the lady.
And this the one that the cops beat, or they beat another kid?
It was the youngest kid. It was the one they beat. They actually punched him in the face when they arrested him. But she said, "Oh, he's the glue." So then when they interrogated him, they made him scared. You want to go home, right? Well, this is what you need to say. And so he, being a young, naive kid, being black and, you know, in a jail with all these white police officers, he got scared and he said it on tape.
You know what I feel? We just need to revamp the justice system.
Yes.
We need to revamp it because, me personally, I think a judge should work like maybe 3 months and they should constantly rotate. Because if they get stuck, and I think if you do a job for every day for so long, you're eventually going to hear the same story, and then in your head you're going to be like, well, this is the same story I'm hearing. He's guilty, you know. So I think what they should do is like work 3 months, take off 3 months, come back, maybe rotate, do something, but they just need to revamp the system. Even the laws of like people getting arrested and stuff for like silly stuff, or like having possession of marijuana or something like that. Like, you know, it's getting ridiculous.
It definitely does need to be revamped.
I think the justice system, it's just real ugly.
Yeah, the justice system, the prison system, maybe even our politics. Like, it's like when was this country founded? It's a while ago, and I mean they've been making small changes, but it's built on the same fundamentals that it was when it first. It's like, come on, we're past that, hundreds of years past that. So,
speaking of like how you said the prison system and all that, I was watching something on Netflix about the world's toughest prisons. I think that's what it was. But anyway, you know, what do you guys think of when you think of prison?
Man.
I mean,
honestly. You could go.
You go.
All right. Well, when I think of prison, I personally have had to experience close family, friends growing up, being in the system. And I feel like the first word that comes to mind is slavery. Because they can still benefit off of our labor for low prices if we are in the prison system. And in cases like the Central Park 5, in cases where people were falsely accused, that we're seeing a lot more with this prison reform going on now, that they can take anybody off the street. They could take any one of us off the street, say that we did something, and now we're going to be a part of this country, you know, making a profit off of our work again. You know, it's just, when I think of prison, I think of the what is it called, the Mayflower, or when it first landed. I think of Jamestown, Virginia, where slavery started. That's what I think of.
I was asking you guys that because just, you know, seeing how people inside prison are being treated, you know, they're treated like shit, you know, and I feel like a lot of the times people, you know, they say, you know, well, they're in jail, they deserve to be treated this way and that way. And I was bringing up the Netflix thing because I was watching it, and there's this prison in Norway. I believe it's Norway, if I'm not mistaken. That prison is enough to make somebody off the street want to go into prison. That prison looks better than some people's apartments that I've seen. They have inside their own cell, they have TVs, they have like microwaves, beds, not like the little pieces, the thin, you know, for as a bed. That prison, it was just, they had grocery stores, they have people in there taking drumming classes, like auto mechanics classes. Like the inmates are in there chilling with the guards, and it blew my mind because when you that's why I asked you guys what you thought of prison. And what do you think? I didn't get your answer, Milite.
Prison, I think of modern slavery. I mean, let's take it back. If we have to compare, back in the day, in slavery days, they were in chains.
Yeah.
Modern day, they in chains.
Yeah.
They were separated in certain of their sizes or whatever the slaves were. They're separated in separation tanks or whatever. They're not only that, slavery was a big business. Prison's a big business.
Yes.
It's a very big business. I mean, successful millionaires have invested in prisons. Yeah. Why? Because it's such a big business, and if you really do your research and see how much money the city and the government make with each person, you know, it's ridiculous.
It is.
And like I said, it is just modern slavery. And guess who's predominantly in modern slavery? What race is it that's predominantly in prison? Black people, colored people, not just black people, but Hispanics too.
People of color, yeah.
Just like back in the day with the slavery. And you know who's running it? The white man.
Yeah, and it goes back to that's what I was bringing up. How you said, you know, it needs to be revamped. And that prison in Norway, their thing as to why they run their prison so nicely is because, like, I mean, I'm talking like they got like coffee rooms in there. Like, it was crazy. I was so mind blown. But they're saying their thing was, you treat these inmates like animals, then that's how you're going to. That's what you're going to get. They're going to react like animals. So they hardly ever have to put people, like, I think they said, like, it was like the percentage of the amount of times that they had to, like, you know, be rough and reprimand people and go on lockdown. I think it was like 3%, and like I forgot how it was so low. The percentage, it was so low because they don't have to deal with that because of how they treat their inmates. They treat them like kings, in my opinion. Like, they were living so good, and it seems like it worked. You know, they're giving them skills. They're allowing them to do things and get to have these skills, so when they get out of jail, they can, you know, they can try to find a job with, you know, something like with working on cars, because like I said, that stuff is offered in there. So they have, you know, cooking, like, and I'm not talking about like cooking like how, you know, like you see on those movies when there's people working in the kitchen and it's not like that. Like, they look like chefs, like, and it just blows my mind because, like, I feel in America that would never fly, and I feel like they do, which is why the jails, especially in California, I feel like why the jails are so bad, and how, like, you know, the people in the jails, they get such as bad rep, because they are treated like animals.
Definitely.
I the whole, you know, putting people in segregation for weeks, I don't understand how that's gonna help anybody. If, to me, that's making somebody lose their mind.
Right.
Putting them in you know, a hole by themselves for 14 days straight, no communicate, like, for longer than that. And it just, I just want, that's why I was asking you, like I said, what you guys thought about prison, or what comes to mind when you guys hear prison, because I wanted to hear what you guys thought. And so
modern slavery.
Yeah, modern slavery.
Modern slavery at its best.
How do you think that would work if we you know, incorporated that out here?
Well, you know what? It's like some things, it will work. It will work for some people. But we have people that are out of jail right now that want to go back. And for those people that have already been in the system, have been in prison numerous times, I don't think it would help anybody like them. They would probably need some extra therapy. Yeah. But definitely for like the new generation of like people who don't follow the law, they it would definitely help. It's like you need restoration programs, or basically you need to restore people that are going through something if you want a positive outlook. But that's the thing, America doesn't really care.
They
like
don't.
Michael Jackson said, they don't care about us. And you know, at the end of the day, they want to they label us certain things, and the conditions that prisons are in is made to groom us to become super predators, to become thugs, to become animals. All these labels that they call us in the media, and you know, they want to be right. Like Milo said, it's a pride thing. They call it something, so they're like, okay, we have to do something so we can show the world that this is what it is. Like, because if we let them be great, if we cultivate this group of people, then our pride is going to be hurt. They won't have power.
Yes.
Can I ask y'all something real fast?
Go ahead.
And I'm curious. Y'all name five black leaders. Like, you can go back in time in the history. Just name 5 black leaders. I'll name one. Martin Luther King.
Obama.
Malcolm X.
That's 3.
Name some more. Because I know you can name more than 5.
Yeah.
Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass. Mean, you can Harriet Tubman. You can go on so long. Now let me ask y'all something. Name 5 Hispanic leaders.
Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez is probably the only one I could think of.
Pancho Villa.
Okay, yeah.
Frida Kahlo. Che Guevara.
Yeah. And that's 3, right?
Frida, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like,
I mean, well, Che, I don't know if he was necessarily Mexican, but you said his Latino.
Like
Fidel Castro, Hugo Chavez, Cesar Chavez, Pancho Villa, Frida Kahlo, Salvador Dali. And Frida Kahlo and Salvador Dali, they're both like painters. I don't want to give them a country, but I definitely know they're Latin. And Frida Kahlo, she suffered a lot. She's like a big woman activist. She has like a unibrow. I don't know if you guys ever seen that painting. Yeah. And Salvador Dali, I believe he's the gentleman that painted those melting clocks. All of his paintings were like had to do with time, and it always had like a melting clock.
What?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking
about. Now, well, I'm talking about Latin America. Because, like, the 5 leaders, black leaders we were talking about, they were in America.
I see what you're saying, though. I really don't know much.
Hispanic leaders
maybe
in
if
America.
We were Latino, then maybe we would know
more.
But that is funny, though, that they're not as popular. Because I feel like if it was a Latino person, they would still be able to name the
asked
black
Latino
leaders.
people this. I asked them this, and they only can name 3.
Who did they name?
Cesar Chavez. I had to even give them one. Che. Or Cha. What's his name?
Che. Yeah, Che.
And then it was somebody else I forgot.
To be honest with you, Cesar Chavez, if you wouldn't have brought up Frida Kahlo and Castro, it probably would have slipped my mind. But Cesar Chavez was the only one I could think of.
But Fidel Castro, he wasn't over here doing the movement. Yeah. He was over in Cuba. I'm talking about America. Okay. See, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, this was all in America. Yeah. That's why I said if you can name more than 5 black leaders in America, you can't name 5 Hispanic leaders in America, and you can't even name 5 Asian leaders in America. You can't even do 5 Indians. But you know what's the funny part is? They, on the economic status, as far as the dollars, they're above us.
Right.
As a culture. That's the funny thing.
That is true.
Yeah.
Y'all think about that for a minute.
Well, when I think about stuff like that, I just know that we are the largest commodity for this country. Like, none of those other races can be... I'm not going to say that. None of those other races have been a crucial part of benefiting this country economically. Like, we people, Africans were already here, but they took Africans from the west coast of Africa, brought them over here, and then they began to make money off of us. So I feel like the powers that be or the leaders of this nation recognized how powerful we were, how skillful we were, how smart we were, but they were able to control